Alright. What's going on with this? Oh, cool. How's it going, everyone? Still have a little bit more to do with this page. It's mainly some like erasing and stuff. But still want to do it. It's really dope we got this far. We actually don't have too many more pages to get through on this particular chapter. So that's awesome. My underdrawing for my cover that I wanted to do, it's a little off. So what I want to do is kind of like reprint the underdrawing out and like try to make it bigger, because I don't think it's cool for at least my own art to have my cover art smaller than my splash pages. Yeah. I one day would like to, well, honestly, I want to just keep as many of my pages for as long as possible. But if I ever need to sell some of these pages, you know, to pay bills or eat or whatever, survive, I wanted to always make sure I had that possibility. So that's why, like, I guess I'm thinking this way. Trying to make sure I have the possibility to do something with these pages for later. But hopefully I won't even need to sell them, you know, like out of necessity, but more so like want to, out of just wanting to share it with other people or sell it to people who really want it for a fair price. It could be cool. I'm gonna add some line weights to this hair. Like it's a little bit flat. I've been kind of thinking of taking out, well actually no, it doesn't matter. I was gonna say I was thinking about taking out some of these lines from his hair, but from what I'm going for iconography wise, uh, like in the series, what I'm doing with his hair is fine. It's just that in a way it could be seen as different than what I want it to be perceived. Well, I actually got that without even being able to see it. That's cool. Alright, so this is mainly done. I actually should scan this quite soon before bad luck strikes or something. Yeah. page we got to the other day was this one. I'm gonna go ahead and apply some line weights onto most of the character art here as well, since it's in front of the background and stuff. I'm gonna add some hair strands. Thinking of like throwing like thinner lines or something. That way the outline of the shape of the hair will speak for what's really going on with the hair. I feel like if I were an animator, I wouldn't even have to utilize it at all. But that's fine. Over time, I feel like people will understand what I'm doing with the hair. I know I'm talking cryptically about it, but it's something I find cool, but it's like something I don't want to give away completely. Okay, so we wouldn't even have a light source hitting anything too harshly over on this side. So I'm going to go ahead and essentially be able to fill all of this in. Before I do that, I'm going to establish these line weights though, since the light source would be more so in front of them. But also, since they're sticking out like this, I have at least a little bit of line weight for this guy, and more line weight from my king, who's kind of in more of a direct view in the scene. So hopefully these lines here for his hair seem like they have a little bit more life to them. I try to think about some movement variation stuff going on. Okay, I think that looks pretty cool. Let's go ahead and add some strands for this guy's hair here. I like that. Should probably switch over to pencil, like these type of pencils, so I can get something a little bit more thicker when it comes to line weight. I don't like that either. That's better. So see, I have a thicker outline for his shoulders already. I'm going to go ahead and try to do a little bit more for the top part of the head. Alright, I like that. Cool. So for this panel, the second panel, probably end up using this pencil here. And you guys can't even see all these random pencils I just have laying up here. Just sitting here, taking up space. But yeah, this pencil will be better for character. I honestly want to start putting in some marks for these, for the backgrounds as well. Because, there's a decent amount more to do. There's two main panels here that show off the backgrounds here. So I don't think I want to just skip around anymore. I want to start putting more time onto those backgrounds now. So I'm going to indicate an edge of like a cliff here. Okay, and down below was supposed to be a good amount of distance. Over top you would have light coming from this direction, and you have like an indication of the ground below and everything like that. Side it would be these mountain shapes, these little cliffs. Okay, I'm okay with that. Have like some smaller ones here. Technically, they wouldn't be smaller, but they're in the distance, so they look small, but they're probably huge. Okay. Gonna have this like, what was it? This would be called like a meander, I assume. Okay, it's down there. And we're probably gonna put a few more things down here. So, actually more so trees on this side of it. It's like little bushy forms. How many pages have I done for this story? Like this chapter? Or like in general, like all together? Actually need to do more. Oh, this chapter? I'm thinking around 19 is what I plan to do, so I'm almost around 19 pages. So even though this says 20, this is it's a little confusing, but when I printed it out, the page said 17 because of how I have the Clip Studio file formatted. So basically, I just have to subtract 3. So this is my 17th page. I think I plan to do around 19 pages, but it could be a little less than that, honestly. Plans are colored. I'll leave it black and white. Oh yeah, I'm gonna leave it black and white. It's meant to be read and viewed kind of like a manga. It even flows right to left, unfortunately. Unfortunately, I I don't have like Japanese kanji or anything like that in there, but I've read enough manga to to the point where as though it had an effect on me, and I ended up comics, and then realized out of nowhere, like later, like holy crap, like this is going in the wrong order. This is going right to left instead of left to right. So I just kind of dealt with it like, oh well, that'll be fine. I might take these out. I don't like these too much, but I'll leave them there for right now. It's like placeholders. Gonna add like some ground terrain, which technically for this shot wouldn't necessarily be all that much in order. Not order, in focus. Oh yeah, I mean, same, probably. Like when I was younger, I got into manga back when everyone was being introduced to Dragon Ball. I was a little late getting into it. I was already reading my Spider-Man comics and whatever else I could get my hands on. And I had already probably been introduced to Spawn at that point. Maybe not. But yeah, me too. But once I got into it, there was enough of it around me to keep finding more content to read. So I'm gonna add a little bit more line weight stuff here to kind of separate the foreground from the middle ground and background. I wonder exactly what I had to get into back then, actually. Like, I know I was reading Dragon Ball Z, and I was just so amazed that this little comic book had become this crazy anime or animation that all my friends were talking about. Which is even more funny when you think about the current state of affairs. Like everything, like even Spider-Man, uh, had its own show back then that I watched when I was younger. But it didn't really mesmerize me uh, as much as like seeing that Dragon Ball wasn't colored. It was literally like black and white. Hardly ever. It was very rare for it to have tone or values in it. Just black and white, line work. And they turned that into something that had color and movement. I was just like, wow, so you're telling me someone can sit down and just draw a comic book like this, and this is good enough? Like, this is good enough to people? Because I liked it too. I was like, this is good enough for me. I thought everything had to be colored. The funny thing is, I don't even think I got how difficult colors could be, like, when I was a kid, yet I was just, like, sitting there not knowing much about color, going like, wow, that's like half the work. No colors? I don't have to do any colors. Just gotta make very readable imagery. Yeah, it shouldn't be too difficult. Of course it's gonna be difficult, regardless. Of course it is. But very fun. I wonder why I didn't draw the arm in there. I swear these tiny drawings here are the hardest ones to do. Because it doesn't take much for them not to read well. So I definitely know I'm gonna have to take a double, triple take looking over all the smaller drawings compared to the bigger ones. I'm gonna have to look over that one. Alright, let's move down here. I wonder how many people still haven't read the Akira manga. Like, the anime is so freaking popular. Understandably so. It's not even fair how good it is. It's probably Akira is probably so well animated that it might just be the greatest animated movie of all time. Might be. Even with its technically incomplete story. It's very enjoyable and very visually pleasing. Yeah, man. We made it pretty far. The dope thing is that I actually was able to work on each page on stream, so there's a video for each one of these pages, talking about it, working on it, and everything. So I gotta be careful here. I'll just go around everything a bit. Actually surprised I'm using this pencil so much. It really means that I just, maybe I overdrew. That's a thing. And it really cramped up my hands previously, because I was hurting. I was like, man, I need something to make this process a little bit more smooth, or I'm just going to be in pain the whole entire time. I'm lucky I found a new pencil. And then I use it every now and then. I say this new pencil is great. It just keeps everything so sharp. I wonder if, I can't say it's the lead inside of this blue pencil, but maybe it's the hole that the lead is coming through. Maybe it allows for some flexibility or something, because I can get some decent variation of like how the lead breaks and sharpens, like one side. Alright, so already separating the foreground from the middle ground to the background, using more open lines here in the background, so these shapes can kind of cluster together very well. Like I have like some trees here. You probably can't see it. These little wavy shapes, like you know how trees look with the leaves and stuff. Um, but over here we have a little bit of broken shapes in the front. Okay, touch the line. A little bit of broken shapes in the front, so these things are a little bit more solid towards the back, facing away from the main light source up top here. And then over here we have the smallest amount of broken shapes in like the front, but we also have this really thick like line going around everything to kind of separate everything because it's in the foreground. And though I want everything to be as visually legible as possible, I also want to make it interesting and not boring to look at. And that's always the real harsh like thing about trying to balance everything. Okay, so they should be near the edge here. So what I'm going to do is Wait a minute. I see. I see. So now I'm noticing that I've changed some things in my picture a bit. I think I did want trees here, but now I'm like, as we can clearly see, there's more mountains here. So I want it like mountains more so up here as well. How will I achieve that? Oh, okay. It's easy. You just get an eraser and you erase it. Previous me working on this page had certain ideas, which makes the chapter work. And I can't really add any new ideas unless I'm gonna change the course of the chapter. I don't want to go against myself totally in that way. Okay, so let's see. How are these shapes indicated? Okay, I got it. Kind of like off in the distance type thing. So let's go ahead and try and make some shapes here. A little bit of understanding of perspective. Where would I fit in my shapes? The other thing I'm also trying to think about is just the shape language of all the mountainous forms that I'm creating. Because once you create any different type of shape, it's going to stick out like a sore thumb. And if that's not what you want to actually happen, you gotta be consistent about those shapes you're putting in. So all these things have a slightly kind of like a vertical feeling to it, and they also feel kind of blocky. So I'm keeping consistent. That means I don't want to go too round. I want to keep the blockiness up. I'm going to shave away little parts of it here and there. Okay. Alright. It's looking pretty cool already. Got some blocky shapes in here. what doesn't make sense now is this meander, which it's making me wonder, like, maybe, okay, so if there is a meander here, that's fine. I can erase out some places here and there, going around the meander. But that means that I have to also think about how things kind of fade towards it. Like, I'm thinking, like, okay, there's some forms, like these rock formations. Got like our little kind of perspective going on here in my head anyway. And you can imagine, okay, this platform is near that, or this part is near that. And I would say as you get closer to the meander, things should kind of slope, like they should start to erode, I guess, right? At least that's what happened in my head about this area. So things could kind of smooth out. Okay, we're getting our shapes in there now. So area looks a bit interesting. Okay, we can have that kind of sloping backwards. Same thing here. A little bit sticking out of here for the dirt. Right, here's that part that I thought that I wasn't going to like before. Now I find it a little bit more useful. So what I'm going to do is kind of like, I'm going to literally just draw through all these forms, kind of make this area feel fuller. So weird looking rock. Alright, I like that. Put a little bit more here. Okay, I'm liking the way this is looking. A lot of that was off camera, that sucks. Gotta get better. Okay, so we also have this stuff here. So we can have some of this stuff slope downward, kind of doing like a step motion type thing. But more so with like these waving lines. It's almost decent to me. Alright, that's kind of good. Alright, so we have our background now. Really need to figure this one out. So we have our background now with our mountainous farms. We have our meander in the middle, kind of separating everything. And then you have our middle ground, which is right after this farm here. And then you have our foreground with the characters and them kind of running in and stuff like that. So, yeah. Now all I have to do is add some lines to represent like they're running or whatever. But I already kind of have that. I don't necessarily need that, but it looks like from what I wanted to happen is there will be these speed lines just going in this direction. Yeah, but I don't know if I want to do that anymore, or at least do it by hand, because I could probably easily do it on the computer, and it's a monotonous type thing. Whereas though like it's just consistently straight lines. So I don't really need to do that. And now, instead of drawing trees here, like I messed up and put trees here before, now I get to put my mountainous forms, which are already kind of shown to me to be there. So that's cool. So Halo here, we have these mountains off, and they're pretty much taller than this form. So they're off to the side here. You have stuff over here being smaller. And you can see, I guess it would feel like they're sloping down a little bit if I showed it a certain way, but all the way in the distance will be these other forms. And then I can also show that they are far in the distance by just not completing the bottom. So I'm indicating shape again. Alright, let's go ahead and add in some more. So we have these other mountainous forms here. This one seems to be closer. So okay, and the distance, we have these forms. Alright, gonna add some more on this side. Alright. Cool. So that's more forms of these. Hey, how's it going, Tavon? Actually, I don't like this one in the middle anymore. Actually, it would be cooler if I made some sort of pattern where they do that instead. But yeah, nothing much, man. Just working on these pages, getting a bit further on everything. Having some fun. And this is the area where a butterfly will be, which should also be in this friggin' scene about here. And that's cool too, because it's overlapping. I can't see that. It's overlapping this part here. So I'm just gonna do that. That should work. Alright. Now we have another thing here. So cool. So we got like these separation of wings going on here. From what I remember, can just bring out the other page as well, just to put some subtle detail information here. Let's get this pattern. Alright, so looking at this page now, I can actually use this. So I'm try to make this pattern work. It's kind of like a Y here. Alright, and then you would have, okay, I see it. You'd have something like a backwards 3. Something similar to that. And that'll do it. That'll be enough detail for that to register as the butterfly. at least in that part of the scene. I'm gonna go ahead and erase out a little bit here. That way you're not gonna get a visual information overload. Yeah, how have you been, Tavon? How's your day been? So I've been okay. Nice. Ah, some gaming videos? What kind of gaming videos? Been watching some Bloodborne stuff, probably, or speed runs. Just gonna go ahead and increase this line weight here so we can tell that this character is in front in more ways than one, I guess. Just walking past, there's a little bit of what do you call it, overlap, which helps to depth. Alright, Super Nintendo ROM hacks and stuff. Oh wow. It's interesting. Alright, I hope people will be able to know he's in front from that added amount of line weight to it. Alright, before I go crazy on that, I need to add in the details for the butterfly twice. Cool. So we're gonna move it back a little bit. Right, and for this one, we're gonna have it actually, I forget how to, I could just look it up. Super Metroid and Link to the Past. I've actually never gotten into like a lot of Nintendo games actually, unfortunately. So I was always interested in things like Zelda, but just never had a chance to really get into it. It was one of those weird times in my life where like everybody talked to me about Nintendo games, but no one had any. It's like they all got to play it, but they didn't have any. They had good memories, and now I'm older, and I don't really keep in touch with a lot of those people anymore. I try to every now and then, but you know how life goes. Let's see here. Said what you say? Am I talking too low? Too low? If so, I am sorry. I was saying that I don't know if you how much that you did here, but I was saying that I'd always wanted to check out those games, like my Nintendo games and stuff, but I just never had a chance to. It was funny. Me and my wife, we bought a Nintendo Wii at one point, but something happened to it. We just never got it again. Hmm. Okay. Good. 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 Yeah. Um. So was your first console a PlayStation? My first console was a Sega. Sega Genesis was my first console. I think my aunt may have had like almost every one of the. Well, she mainly was a Nintendo fan, but she also liked Sony. She was the first person I'd ever seen playing like Devil May Cry. She had like Devil May Cry 1. Yours was a Super Nintendo? That seems to be the consensus actually. Like a lot of people's first console was a Super Nintendo. Yeah, I missed out to some degree. A little bit. I had fun with what I did, what I was able to get though. I think just trying to keep up with the video game stuff was just difficult at the time. was way into Sonic though. Yeah, and Vector Man was cool. I don't even know who that is. Vector Man? Sounds interesting. It's weird. I really liked Sonic back in the day, but like my my like fandom or enjoyment of a character in general came from the games I got to play. So as soon as like for me Sega was over and I got like a PlayStation, I never played like Sonic again. It wasn't important anymore. It was only important because it was the only thing that I had to play on my, well, that I enjoyed on my Sega more than probably everything else. And as soon as I got a PlayStation, though there were Sonic games that'll eventually come out again, I never cared again. So it's interesting to like see like the fandom of like, people who love Sonic everywhere. And like for me to just be like, nah, I only got to play like Sonic 1 and 2, and that's where it ends for me. I never kept chasing after any more games. I would kind of live vicariously through other people who were checking out Sonic games and stuff, and yeah, they were upset about a lot of different things, and I just was listening to them complain about things, and I wasn't I wasn't too I wasn't too upset about anything. I was just like, oh, word, they changed that. Oh, that kind of sucks. Or they added that. No, it's okay. Maybe it's because I never really got good at Sonic. Because like I was playing it by myself and having any siblings to come around and tell me I was doing anything wrong. It's like imagine just sitting in your room by yourself, uh, being young, not having a sibling to play the game with, no internet and stuff like that. I was just happy to play it, do anything on the game, beat a boss. It's like wow, I finally beat that guy. I don't even know how I did it. It was so difficult. And then you just, you remember it forever. You don't have to tell anyone. It's not a big deal. And start talking to people about video games back in the day. It sounds similar to how it sounds today, except you can finally Google it and know what they're talking about. Sonic Blast is cool a long time ago. Yeah, but Sonic's fandom is big. Sonic's fandom is huge. Like, even though he might not be as cool when it comes to like games anymore, man, there's so many Sonic fans. I guess I'm technically one of them. Like, I like his design, uh, his older design more so, because again, it's the only one I cared about since it's the only one I played. But it sucks that over time Sega didn't seem to know what they were doing with him anymore. Alright, I like that. Got the butterfly in all the scenes now. Need to add this guy's eyes. really don't like this line in the middle. It's kind of distracting for me. Usually I put like these parts more so near the edge of his hair. My favorite Sonic game was Sonic Adventure 2 Battle. Is that so? And what made it different from the other Sonic games, Tavon? See here, red light coming from this side, here. I played it on the GameCube. But it released on the Dreamcast. Dreamcast. The Dreamcast. Oh, the Sega Dreamcast. Did that come out before the GameCube? So I'm unsure. That looks about right. Oh, nice. Did it make it weird for you though? Because it was like an older game? So we're almost at the part where we can put some frames on here. That's exciting. Now I've cut back from using this dang on pencil more and more. It's still a good pencil. It just smears a bunch. And that's what I just don't want to have to deal with. Being as though keeping most of these, or all of these, I can say most of these. Most of these pages are going to be all pencil. Oh, it's one of my favorite games of all time. Oh, nice. I think I have had a similar experience when it comes to Soul Calibur. I was able to play Soul Calibur or get into that whole thing essentially with Soul Blade. But when I got it, it had already come out on PlayStation 1, and I didn't have a PlayStation 1, so I missed out on that whole thing. But I got to play Soul Calibur on PlayStation, well, Soul Blade. I got to play Soul Blade on PlayStation 2, which is pretty old, I guess. But to me, it was like my first fighting game on that console, and it was mega enjoyable. So, when I was just now thinking about playing Soul Blade, my mind just now had a hard time thinking about exactly what location I was living in at the moment. But I could remember the interior of the room where I was playing it in and stuff. Then I was like, man, I wonder how that works. For a person kind of thinking back on things. And I've actually never moved to a different city yet, so I can't imagine like what a person's mind who travels is like when they remember stuff they did when they were younger. Is it even important anymore? The room in which you played a thing in, or do you even remember it? Or is it like really difficult having to remember what city or location you were in? I don't know how that all works. Yeah, you'll always have your most cherished memories. Yeah, I hope so. That'd be cool. I one day will like to travel, but this COVID situation is just not very desirable. Yeah, that's cool. And now we have to do these. So, I swear, the thing about this that's so like difficult for me to use is it literally feels like drawing with something with way too much friction than what you would think it has. Like drawing with this, let me see. I think this has or feels like it feels like it has more friction than using the freaking eraser. Like it literally feels like I'm drawing with something that's like not supposed to be drawn with. And that's the oddest thing to me because it's a pencil. You know what? I'm gonna just buckle down to use it anyway. But it is definitely odd. Maybe if I just pick it up a little bit and just put down line by line, it'll just feel better. It's already relatively dark. Don't necessarily have to worry about overlapping, so I don't need to do that type of patterning. So I'll try that. It kind of feels better, honestly. I think I'll stick with that type of method. Oh, maybe so. Maybe it is like drawing with an eyeliner pencil. I've never tried. that. I'm gonna do this other part here. What's this? What is that? Wait a minute, that's literally just underneath the paper. I'm losing it. Create a slight border here so that I know not to go past that. Now to fill it in. Alright. It's looking a lot better. I actually think this hand should be bigger when I'm thinking about it, looking at it. Hand up here looks fine. This hand down here, not so much. It's all about the length of like the fingers that I'm looking at. I seem to try and indicate something here, but I didn't keep it up. Let's see here, what can we do? Okay. Oh, okay, this is supposed to be like the pinky. Here. It's basically what that was supposed to be like. Yeah, I like that a lot more. It's a lot more solid there. It should be a little bit more round here. I like that. Some hair strands in there. All right. So I can go ahead and start basically adding in the borders and stuff like that, or the frames. It's dope. Let's go ahead and shake this, see if any debris can fall off of it. Go ahead and shake the devil out of it. Alright, I'm sorry. Oh man, Bob Ross is iconic. Those poor brushes, man. I actually think, doesn't Bob Ross have like a Twitch stream or something? They're just like using his old footage. It's pretty smart. Okay, I see what I did there. I was like, why would I do that? Alright, we got that underneath of there. Just need the 0 or the 1.0. Go from here. Nope. Okay. Yeah, they're using his older footage for stream stuff. It's kinda interesting. Interesting. So okay. Alright, I see what you were doing. Previous me. Okay. Got our borders on there. I like the way this page turned out. Looks decent. Definitely gonna add some whiteout to some certain parts. Wonder what happened to that whiteout pen that I had. No, everyone seems to like these ones now. These were the Posca, Uni Posca. I haven't really tried them that much yet, but they seem okay. It didn't work like that last time. I like it. I don't know. Okay. Yeah, yeah, I'm a fan already. Yeah, I like it. Hmm. It's weird. I know I'm gonna have to go over like this top panel here, but it's probably my favorite panel. Like these first two are probably my actual favorite panels on this page. Because I kind of, in a way, got to add like a new feeling of like where they are and like what that feels like as far as like the whole adventure aspect of things. And I know I don't feel like I hit it when I first started the chapter because I kind of like the left, they're walking, you see the background, but it doesn't really engulf them like these two scenes here. Of course, I could have done that a little bit extra dramatic by using like a double page spread or something like that, but I chose not to. Yeah, erase out here. Actually looks odd now that I've stopped it there, so I might add it back later, but yeah. Oh, thank you. Yeah. Oh, and I see it also indicated an ear on the other part that I didn't add. That's not cool. In actuality, this would be on the other side more. Cool. Yeah, other than some little things I see here and there, I think these came out looking pretty nice. Gotta get better with my lighting. I think my lighting's a little eh. Hmm. Alright then. I think that's all we're gonna do for today. 19 and a 20 there. This should be probably one more page to do, I would say. Um, one more page to do until we get to work on the cover together. Let me check. Let me make sure. So I feel like that is correct. Yep. It's about one more page, and then we have the cover to do. That's awesome. Yep. So that'll be tomorrow. I think we'll go over that. I think tomorrow we'll do that. And we'll also look over all the other backgrounds for the other pages. So, it might not be that, like tomorrow that we get to the cover. It'll be this week though. Because here's what we gotta do. We gotta go over we gotta get to the last page and finish that up. Then we gotta backtrack and check all the backgrounds and make sure they're good and they're done well. Um, and check the art and the character art and stuff like that, make sure that's in the place we want it to be in. And once we're done with all that, we go through, check everything, throw it in a pile. Then we'll go ahead and, not, well, I'll off screen and print out the underdrawing for the cover. And then we'll get to work on the cover together and just talk about whatever we want. So that'll be really awesome. I'm going for a Akira style cover this time. And what I love that Akira does is oh, not too much. I do this every chapter, every chapter I've ever done. I always put a lot of extra attention on things, just to try and make sure I'm hitting the mark that I want to hit. You know, uh, it's difficult, but it's basically for my own sanity because I don't feel like I'm technically a perfectionist, but to some degree I am. I guess so. Yeah, to some degree I am. I kind of want to make sure I'm making the marks I'm making, and the more I learn about art and storytelling, the more I'm trying to be as direct as possible as far as like what I want to say to the reader, and hopefully they get exactly what I'm going for. And if they don't, it's because I don't want them to. I want to be that what is it called? Precise with the visual messaging that I want to put out there. How many chapters are there? Uh, this one is, what is this? Chapter 10. I've done, yeah, around 10 chapters now. Or, well, this is chapter 10. So I've done 9 chapters in total. Um, and some of those chapters are 40 pages, 30 pages, 28 pages. You know, they're not just 17 and 15 page chapters. They're actually, some of them are actually pretty hefty. Um, but I draw a lot of action. So if you like action, hopefully that'll keep you going. And I love panel flow and things of that nature, and how Dragon Ball and Yusuke Murata does their panel work. Though I don't like rip off of them or anything, I just really like them a lot and study them. So hopefully that helps you get through each chapter better. Um, yeah. I feel like the plot of the Divinity, which is what the name of my comic is, for anyone who's not on the stream at the moment, is going to pick up more drastically during this next arc that these guys are in right now, that they're starting essentially. So yeah, I hope to kind of have people checking it out and watching me progress these pages, you know, on stream. So I think that's really awesome. Would love to keep showing you guys the process of that. Which makes me also think, what the heck am I gonna offer on my Patreon now if I'm kind of just talking about everything on my YouTube streams? But I'll figure that out eventually. But yeah, this will be it for me. So I'll talk to you guys tomorrow. We have a decent amount still to do for later. Um, and that'll be it. It's gonna be fun. I hope it'll be fun. If you guys also enjoy what I do, that's awesome. If you guys draw comics, I hope this will be helpful to you as well. Because I've been drawing comics for a bit now, and I'm finally confident enough to put more content out there and give out some tips and things of that nature. And I'm still learning, so there is no right or wrong way to do anything to me. There's just a lot of things that could help what you're trying to go for, or not be as impactful. So, later, people. I'll see you all tomorrow at 9 p.m. Come through and hang out. Peace.